Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. And before we go on today, I wanted to address something. There were a lot of comments in the last video saying, hey, I think you're really overdoing this. Some of those panels really didn't need to come off, and you really need to stop obsessing over every little rust spot. And I totally realize y'all's confidence in my ability to bring all of this back together is at an all-time low. And I know that you guys are coming from a good place. It's not mean-spirited at all, and I understand what you're saying. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not doing this without careful consideration. What you guys don't see in the videos is just me sitting in the garage for hours at a time, doing nothing but debating for each panel that I take off, whether or not this is worth it. It's really an agonizing process. I know in the episodes, especially the ones without narration, I just seem like I'm randomly taking stuff apart, but I can assure you I have a plan to bring this all back together. And really only time will tell if my plan will work out, but you can be damn sure that I'll try my best. And if you've been a longtime viewer, you probably know that I'm extremely and probably very oddly and sometimes unnecessarily thorough and planned and very detail oriented. I'm not doing this to complete it as fast as possible. I'm doing it so that at the end of it, however many years it might take, I can look at this car and know that I did it my way. And I do apologize if that seemed like a little bit of a rant. It really wasn't supposed to be, but I did want to preface this episode with those thoughts because it's about to get worse, guys. And I didn't want those comments to go unanswered for much longer. But, you know, keep the suggestions coming. I do read every single comment. I do hear out what you guys are saying. And I do sincerely appreciate those suggestions because I know they're coming from a good place. So without further ado, please enjoy this one. So what I want to do is actually cut out this entire front radiator mount and probably this part of the frame as well. But basically the reason why I want to do that, it actually all started from here. So this part proved to be a lot more damaged with rust than I expected. And really the area that I need to get to extends all the way, I think, inside of this tube frame or unibody. So then I started kind of taking out the top part of this. There was a piece that attached right here. And then I started noticing more rust down here. You guys probably can't see, but there's actually pinholes for some reason. So the rust is kind of eating through this part of the frame as well. And I wish I could say I knew about all of this before I bought the car, but this part was covered up and I really didn't notice any of this. But that's okay, since I think we have a chance to make this thing work better and be stronger by the time we're done with it. So here's kind of the plan. So I want to cut out a hole here and cut out another hole here so that I can get access to inside of this tube part of the unibody. So I want to bend a tube that comes out that fits inside of this channel, come out here and then bend upwards just like this, and then go back in to here so that you have the top part and the hood support of the radiator mount. And I also want to cut this part out and have a tube that comes out from this frame and then bends downward just like this and then goes back in. And then hopefully I can connect these two pieces with a straight square tube or pipe. And then another one here, and then we should be able to have a place to hold a new radiator, which I don't have right now, so I can't really size it. But I think that's gonna end up making this look hopefully better. I don't like all these holes and all the stuff that I don't really need anymore. So I'm gonna, while I'm cutting this out, I'm gonna be really careful not to damage this two pieces any more than I have to, so that I can use it as a template later on when I'm bending the tubes, hopefully. Okay, so that's the plan. Hopefully that makes sense to at least some of you. I know I'm probably getting in over my head, but that's the direction that I want to go with this thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I've been at this for hours, and what I've been trying to do is try to keep as much of this radiator support intact as possible so that just in case I want to reverse this, I can, but that's just not looking like it's gonna happen. And I can't even tell where the spot welds are because everything is just rusted and painted over. So I was trying to take this radiator support plate from this frame, which means I have to go through and find all of the spot welds around here, and it's just not looking like it's gonna happen. So I think what I'm gonna do is just get this loose, get all of or finish taking out all of the spot welds to here and to here, and I'm just gonna cut it here, here. And I think that's really the best I can do. It's just way too time consuming, and it just doesn't make sense for me to waste another full day. I just can't imagine that I would want to put this back anyway, because like I said, it's just rust damaged and there's just everything is crushed in underneath here. I think somebody tried to use this as a jacking point. So this is all kind of messed up, and like I said, there's pinholes because this tube is rusting through. So you know what? I'm just gonna take the Sawzall and make this a little bit easier. Okay, so we're finally done taking out the radiator support, or the kind of the front plate. I had to bring it out in 2 pieces. It wasn't really an easy way for me to do this without cutting it. But I'm so glad I actually did it, because look at this. You guys expect me to build my Dream Z knowing that there's this stuff going on? No way. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. So I did leave this this frame intact because I don't know, I kind of changed my mind. I was going to take this out, but I think I can get to most of the stuff in here, and I think I'm just going to try to reinforce this instead of taking it out and replacing it entirely. I think that's a smarter decision to make here. Although there is another decision to make, which is regarding these plates right here. I think I'm gonna try to remove these plates. So as you can see, there's actually 2 different plates, one here and one here. I don't know if 240Zs have this, but I think 280Zs have them because it was for the bumper support. And I know 240Zs didn't have the same type of bumper. So this is like a really thick plate reinforcing this part right here. But really the reason why I want to remove it is there's all these crevices and where water have gotten in. I imagine there's a lot of rust underneath these plates because they weren't really sealed properly. And you know how I know that? It's this right here. There's a whole bunch of pinholes here. So the rust is definitely showing through, and the opposite side of this is right here, where I think water have gotten in from either here or somewhere else. So I imagine once I take this plate out, I'm gonna find a whole bunch of rust underneath that I need to get to. So I am gonna start by taking these 2 out, see what I can get to, and I'll think about taking this out as well and cleaning it up and putting it back, but I'm not sure. But let's just start with this one. Took this out, and just as I expected, this sheet metal is just completely rusted through. But the bad news is I think I'll also have to cut out more under this panel as well. So although I didn't really want to do it, I think I will have to actually take this plate out.